Well, it was only a matter of time, I suppose, but Royal Caribbean have announced the further suspension of their Australian cruise season, plus some updates on Pacific Adventure. We'll get into that and more now. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. In an email to members this week, Clear Managing Director Joel Katz noted that their consistent messaging around the safe resumption of cruising is finally sinking in with senior politicians. Ongoing discussions with the government have apparently changed in tone, and Joel Katz added that we're now seeing a new willingness to make progress, and we're hopeful our extensive behind-the-scenes work with government will start to show results soon. It's important that us cruise lovers continue to exert pressure on the government, so even if you've done it before, head over to readysetsail.com.au and let them know just how ready you are for cruising to return to Australia. Perhaps mention that traveling overseas to cruise, which many of us will shortly be able to do when we can just cruise from here, is pretty insane, although highly tempting. Despite this behind-the-scenes headway, we learned yesterday that Royal Caribbean have decided to cancel their entire 21-22 Australian cruise season. It was only a few months ago that Royal Caribbean designed their 21-22 Australian cruise season with their first scheduled departure for December 13th. They have now all been cancelled through to the end of March 22. It was generally expected that, like P&O, Princess and Carnival, Royal Caribbean would probably extend their pause in operations through to January, but instead they pulled the plug on the entire season. No doubt they'll be looking around the world for other countries and cities that are willing to accept cruise operations. It's disappointing, but no one can blame the cruise lines. Our government is seriously letting us down. I hope, in the words of Joel Katz, that we start to see the result of a changing tone in government about the resumption of cruising here. Meanwhile, in South Africa, cruising has officially been given the green light. This is despite the country of 60 million having a fully vaccinated rate of 18% compared to Australia's 65%. I'm happy to see cruising return to more countries around the world, but it just proves how utterly backwards Australia is when it comes to this. Both Pacific Adventure and Pacific Encounter were originally set to have twin racing water slides installed as part of their original makeovers before their arrival into Australia. In 2020, P&O stated that the slides would not be installed until a later date, but this week we learned that the Pacific Adventure will arrive into Australia sporting her attraction. The slides are an impressive structure, perched high above the upper decks beneath and extending out beyond the side of the ship. Pacific Encounter will have her slides installed in March 2023. P&O held their virtual Fly the Flag event on Thursday night, offering up family-friendly entertainment, cocktail making, a word from their industry partners, and a further sneak peek at the Pacific Adventure. The showcase definitely proved just how cruise crazy Australians are and made it very clear that we're all longing for the day we can once again step on board a ship and enjoy the sweet, salty smell of the ocean. Also this week, P&O launched their 23-24 season, and with it, their Around Australia cruise. The voyage will take its lucky cruisers on a 28-night cruise around this island continent on board Pacific Explorer, and it's the first time in 90 years P&O has offered a full Australia circumnavigation. Celebrity also released their Australian Edge season for booking, and I can confirm it's been popular, proving just how ready Aussies are to get back on the high seas, but also how excited we are about experiencing a truly groundbreaking ship. The 12 itineraries focus on New Zealand, Queensland, the South Pacific and Southern Australia, and bookings open to the general public from today. If you are interested in booking on any of these cruises or anything else from 2022 and beyond, head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au. If you haven't done so already, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. In an email to members this week, Clear perhaps mentioned that traveling overseas to cruise. It was generally expected that, like P&O, no doubt they'll be looking across the world to other cities and countries that are willing to accept. In 2020, P&O stated that the slides wouldn't be installed in the... What? In 2020, P&O stated that the slides wouldn't be installed until a later date, but this week we learned that the Pacific...